same here. So, kind of Thursday in Ubud, a weird day to say the least. And yeah, those videos will be way less quality, way lower quality, because this camera is from a Mac and it's not that great. But the most important part is content, not how I look here. Maybe you just want to look anyway. Then send me a message, I'll send some pics. Yeah, so today, as I've mentioned, I have misplaced my phone for undefined amount of time. And it's kind of an interesting experience, and seeing the way that I've perceived this experience myself, and the way I've changed the perception of what how to let go of control when you're actually dealing with. It's very easy to say, hey, let go of control, but it's very hard to actually do when you are facing the real fears, like the real big fears. Like for me, the very big fear is fear of loss, and that's manifests itself often in a fear of in actual losing things all the time. So yeah, today first time I lose my phone in my history of losing things, and that's basically means that I will be experiencing different Ubud, because it won't be through the camera of a phone. It will be just like raw experience. So we'll see where this experience leads. I'm kind of excited to see how different it's gonna be, because of lack of this, hey, I just gonna escape here. And yeah, so today that I needed to deal with those fears, and that's what came up as the topic of this today conversation is like monologue of myself, is the judgment, but the judgment not of other people, but the more deeper judgment of yourself. And it came up in a sense where I like self, you say something and then you don't embody it. So I did this exactly today. So I was sitting in a restaurant and I'm sitting by myself, and it's kind of boring, and I'm sitting there having a dinner, and other people came over and sat on the left and on the right. So a guy and a girl, single, two, just sitting there, not really engaged in anything. So according to what I have said, I should be the change you want to be. So you want to change the way people interact, then go and be the person who takes the first move and goes and introduces themselves and say, hey, you by yourself and I by myself, let's go sit together, and why are we being all this boring and stuff. And I wanted to do this at some point, and at the same time I had this on one hand it could be seen as fear, and there's definitely part of it is fear, because oh, what if they say no? But I recognize that there was also a part of it, to put it in the context, I was in a discussion with the people I'm working here for probably 4.5 hours, where the non-stop discussion. So my needs for social has been met more than enough. I think it also kind of because I didn't have as much dependency on this hey, I need to get high on the oxytocin, that's why I'm gonna go and talk to people. That's what you get when you talk to friends, or people you meet, and then you start explaining to them and get a mix of oxytocin and dopamine. Yeah, so I think also because I didn't have that, then it was people were you should really do it, but then I was but why? And there was a lot of judgment of myself where I'm hey, but why are you not embodying what you're saying? Why are you not doing what you're saying you should do? And then I judge my own self-judgment. No, I've just noticed it. I've noticed that it was happening, and I've realized that this is actually one of the uh, most screwed up thing about us as humans is that we are so smart that it makes us paralyzed. Because if I didn't have this like prefrontal cortex, which is our thinking, analyzing brain, I wouldn't even think. I would just like, oh yeah, okay, then I go and do it. And if I didn't do it, I wouldn't even think, but why didn't you do it? Oh, why was wrong with you? So all the problems from thinking, basically. Yeah, unfortunately, it's our greatest evolutionary tool, and at the same time, it's one our strongest weaknesses. So it's our worst critic. It's ourself, and the worst judge, because we're always very, very, very self-judging. We tell ourselves that, oh no, we shouldn't say this thing here, or shouldn't do this thing here because of that and that and that. Or if we actually do those things, then we still judge ourselves. If we don't do this thing, we still judge ourselves. So it's like a vicious cycle. And I think the only thing is, it's the same as like with judgment of other people. Like you go from judgment to, keep forgetting this word, the connotation, I think, where you take an action and you describe how you feel about this action. So for example, today when I didn't go and introduce myself, I felt that it was making me let's see, I had it right now, but now it's gone. Felt disappointment, that's what I felt in myself. But that's one thing to say it, right? I feel disappointment in me not able to take actions in this specific moment. So that changes things a bit, because then it's not permanent, and then it talks only about this specific moment, and we make mistakes, we're human, just accept them as part of the experience. So yeah, that's changing language slightly, and then saying like, that was kind of disappointing there, and like this actions particularly didn't shine. Learn from it and keep going, keep learning, keep growing, and accept yourself as you are, even when you make mistakes. That's the hardest part, because like when I lost my phone, the first thing which came out is the judgment part. But that was actually very interesting, because the judgment part almost instantly disappeared. Like I saw how it's coming up, and I'm like, oh, you stupid idiot, why did you even take your phone with you to the run? And I realized that it's not productive at that point. Like there's no reason to do this, because A, it's not gonna help me find it, B, it's not gonna help me at all, and there's no end. It's not helpful for me, it's not beneficial for my growth, so why be in those feelings? So I saw the feeling, and I just said, hi, you're gonna criticize me and tell me it's my fault, right? Okay. And then I let go, and kind of disappeared by itself. So accept yourself. It's the most important person you need to accept. Maximum.